Welcome to the Myopia Podcast, where we give you the latest myopia research, clinical topics, and industry insights. Make sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all awesome myopia content. And now to our host, a massive myopia manager himself, Dr. David Kading.
Here's the tough truth. For every 1 hour we spend with patients, we're stuck doing 2 hours of administrative work, charting, prior authorizations, inbox messaging. And it's not just us. Up to 70% of our team's time is spent on non-clinical work. This isn't why we got into healthcare, and patients feel it too. Many say that they no longer feel truly connected to their providers and the healthcare practices. I've been working with virtual partners for over 10 years, and I can tell you not all virtual staffing companies are created equal. When we found Team, we realized how much better this process could be. Now, we've been working with Team for the last 2 years, and they didn't just find us a name on a resume. They helped us choose the right person, trained them, gave us onboarding system, management tools, and support us to make our virtual team feel like they're really part of our office. Now, our virtual team handles documentation, prior authorizations, billing, patient phone calls, other patient communications, you name it. Our in-office team has more energy. Our patients get more face-to-face time with both my office team as well as me as a provider, and I get to be the kind of doctor that I wanted to be in the first place. If you're ready for a virtual revolution in your office that actually works and you're looking for a partner that helps you do it right, visit hireteam.com. That's hire, HIRETEEM.com. Big thanks to Team for supporting this podcast. Visit hireteam.com. That's hire, HIRETEEM.com. And thank you to Team for supporting this podcast. Myopia management is one of the fastest growing areas in eye care, but it takes the right playbook to make it work. And that's why I work with Treehouse Eyes. They provide the training, ongoing support, marketing, and tools to help independent optometrists succeed. If you're passionate about myopia management, visit growmymyopiapractice.com to learn more.
Well, thank you for joining us for this episode. I'm very excited to have my friend Patrick Simard with me. Thank you for joining me for the Myopia Podcast.
I'm really happy to be here. Thank you for this.
So this is surprisingly the first time that I've interviewed you. I wanted to get through 100 episodes so I could practice before interviewing such a VIP person like you. I've always been a big fan. We graduated about the same time, did our residency pretty much the same year, and that was already 20 years ago, buddy.
It was.
Can you believe it?
It's amazing.
Oh man, we're old.
We're getting old. Yeah.
So Patrick, you're up in Canada, and as you can hear when you hear him speak, he's got this amazing accent. So you do things a little different. Tell us a little bit about what you do in your everyday life, your practice, your teaching, and so forth.
Yeah, I'm fortunate enough to practice in a group practice, and I focus my clinical time mainly on specialty contact lens. One part of it is scleral lenses, and the other part of it is myopia control, especially the soft modality or orthokeratology time. And I was fortunate enough to start myopia control a long time ago, 2006, 2007. It was very hard at the time to convince parents, children to go that route. And over time, we added soft multifocal contact lens. We added low-dose atropine. And now in our market, we have multiple anti-myopia glasses since 2020, which is a fabulous tool to scale that anti-myopia.
Yeah. So the pathway to clearance is a lot easier in Canada than it is in the United States. And you're in Montreal, and so most of the things across Canada are the same in most provinces, right? So what I'm always fascinated in, number one, is many of us have our head in the sand about spectacle lenses because we don't have them available in the United States, but elsewhere in the world, and many of our listeners are from all over the world, they have spectacle lenses. And what I hear is adding another modality into this is like figuring out when you're going to go to spectacles versus go to orthokeratology and soft multifocals. It's a challenge as a practitioner when you're going to utilize atropine and what concentration of atropine. So the first question I have for you is let's dig into this spectacle lens modality a little bit. When are you choosing to recommend that to a patient, or are you just letting them pick it?
They are so effective and so easy to adapt. So most kids will get used to those lenses in about 5 to 7 days. That pretty much all the time when you start becoming myopic, it will be the first option that we talk about. So to create awareness about myopia control, usually when you start to become myopic, we will talk about all the options. So the glasses, the atropine, we'll talk about soft contact lens, and my favorite is orthokeratology. But usually we will start with that modality, and it's a bit counterintuitive because the thought is, if you prescribe more anti-myopia glasses, you'll probably do less contact lens fitting. But in practice, it's the contrary that happens, because the contact lens modality becomes another layer, another option for those still progressing when you prescribe the anti-myopia glasses. And it's like a screener to identify those individuals that are more motivated to go to the contact lens lenses. And you also go back to one of the aspects that is really important with contact lens fitting, which is the fitting the contact lens for the lifestyle, for the quality of life that it provides. So many patients will do soft contact lens, anti-myopic soft contact lens with the anti-myopic glasses.
Do both.
Both. Yeah.
Yeah. And so what I'm kind of hearing you say is it may be an easier way to introduce a family to myopia management because mom, dad, everybody understands what glasses are, but they may be nervous about their child wearing contact lenses. But then as time goes on, the lifestyle aspect of contact lenses come into play, and they'll either wear both or they may switch over to orthokeratology or something along the lines. But it's an ease of entry, especially for those younger children who we know are progressing the fastest.
Exactly. For me, it's the best way to scale up myopia control.
Yeah.
Because you're able to have so much more patient into myopia control, and then manage them and measure axial length over time and see who's not responding as expected to anti-myopia glasses. So
now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you have 4 spectacle lenses.
Exactly.
Is that right?
Yes.
Well, this just brings a whole nother realm of confusion into this, is because, we've got 4 major contact lens companies, and I just think, how do I pick one over the other? So how does it go into, is much of the decision, and maybe I can speak Canada-wide, and you can speak on behalf of the entire nation, you can speak to your personal experience, but also Canada-wide, do most people choose the spectacle lens because they work with that company, or are they choosing it because the modality is better, and is one design better for some kids than others? And how do you choose between those 4 options?
My opinion on that right now is that we still need to be evidence-based, so we need to go to the lens design that have the best track record so far. To my point of view, there's 2 on the market that are based on peripheral defocus lenslet around the periphery, and they have many years of data with a proven efficacy.
Been around a while.
Outward,
Yeah. So we're not sponsored by anybody. So would
Me
you
too.
would you
Me
be
neither.
okay to tell us the ones that you've seen and that you've been working with for a really long time that are around the peripheral
So I'll
focus?
start by with the chronology of it. So the first design we've got in Canada was the dim lens by Oya, which is the design that have the most years compared with the initial cohorts.
It's been around
They
for a
have
long
8
time.
years now of data with that design. It's like the MySight of anti-myopia glasses. So it's mainly the gold standard. And basically, on average, they provide the growth of an emmetropic eye over that span, that many years.
Okay, so with the Hoya DIMS lens, what we may expect is if we looked at a growth chart for an emmetropic patient, the myopic child is already grown, but the study shows that we're really just parallel that line.
The child will grow at 0.1 millimeter per year.
Yeah, okay. All right, good. And there's another peripheral to focus. That's
the other one is called the Alt Technology by Luxottica. It's a bit newer, so we don't have as many years of data. They are talking about the 4 or 5 years data right now. Similar result. It provides quite the same result as the other one.
Okay, and that's by Essilor.
Yeah.
That lens is not a lens that I see is super close unless it's by a different name here in the United States. I've heard of the lenses, obviously. And then there are a couple other lenses that use some different designs. Tell us a little bit about those.
The third one that we got, and there was a 14 site clinical study site across North America, is called the DOT, the Diffusion Optic Technology. It works differently than the other two.
Yeah.
And
do you know who makes that lens?
Yes, it's Sightglass.
Sightglass.
Yes.
Yep. The DOT. Yep. I've heard of it as Sightglass. I don't know that I knew it was called DOT.
And the principle to that is like a frosted lens in the periphery, so it prevents the peripheral retina from analyzing eye contrast sensitivity cue like when we are reading.
Yeah.
There's only 1 year data officially published so far.
Okay.
They had a bad timing. That technology is really promising because they hit the 1 year mark on their cohort into the COVID in March 2020.
Oh, that is the worst timing.
So they had kind of a
Yeah.
mixed data the second and the third year because of that dropout and everything.
Right.
There's multiple ongoing study with that design in China, in Europe, and feels to me that we'll get really close to the other two design, but we don't have those data yet available.
Yeah, and if I recall, Sightglass is a collaboration of CooperVision and Essilor bringing that lens out. Is that the same in Canada?
In Canada, the lens is distributed by CooperVision.
Okay, yep. Great. And then the fourth lens.
The fourth lens is a newcomer. It's by Zeiss.
Yep.
And it's kind of a platform of two different designs. So they came up with a design with a smaller far vision zone for younger kids with higher peripheral defocus and a bigger optical zone for higher kids, so a lesser dosage. Once again, for that platform, we only have 1 year of data, so we need to be cautious about second to 3 years.
Sure. So these designs are a little bit different depending on which one you're using, and what is it that they look like from the patient's perspective? You know, is there a struggle with adapting to it? You said that in most cases it's maybe a week, but they're not like normal clear lenses. There's things that look different in them. if you picked up one of these as a practitioner and you didn't know what it was, you would be like, what the heck?
Yeah, in terms of aesthetically, they look clear from the outside when you look at the lens.
Right.
There's still a learning curve, a bit like a progressive lens, where you need to learn how to look through the lens, because some design are really sensitive in terms of clarity of vision. So you need to use the central part of the lens to see properly.
And many of these lenses, they've got a central lenslet, which is perfectly clear like any other pair of glasses.
Yeah.
But if you as a practitioner held the lens under the light, you would see something different.
Yes,
Yeah.
you will see the lenslet in the periphery.
Yeah. And usually those are plus lenslets.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of scattered around in
Exactly.
a pattern.
And depending on the design, the periphery will have different ratio between 60% to 40% for the near vision.
Yeah.
So that's mainly the difference. So if you have a lower amount of peripheral defocus in terms of surface area, those design make it a bit easier to adapt and easier to look through those lenses when you read up close.
Yeah, okay, so I'm going to ask the stupid question just because it came to mind, and I may have somebody ask this question. So if these peripheral lenslets are plus powered, and we're essentially putting these little add powers all around, why can't we just use a bifocal?
The answer is the amount of peripheral defocus. So when we take into account the amount, the dim design, for example, has small honeycomb size plus of addition of 350. If we take into account the alt design is some circle around the periphery, and the power varies between +3 and +5 depending on the prescription and depending on how far you are from the center. So, which is quite different from older technology. If we go back in time, in around 2010, 2011, Brian Holden Vision Institute developed with Zeiss the Myovision design,
Right.
which is a bit what you are talking about.
Yeah.
You had the center vision for the far vision, and in each quadrant you had a progressive lens that was going outward in every direction. It has proven over time to be not enough in terms of peripheral defocus to slow down myopia.
We need
over time. We need more. It's a dose thing.
Yeah, and we have this theory around peripheral defocus and some theory about that retinal confusion that's going on. But with these designs, we're completely changing the way that the fovea and parafoveal region is getting light. It's getting some confusion, and we're doing peripheral defocus with that higher add power. But because of a bifocal is only on one meridian, we're getting this all over the place. And as you just pointed out, even the progressive, like think about a 360-degree progressive, it's still not getting as much of it. We need more of that blur we'll use, or more of that disparity centrally. And so using these lenslets creates that confusion. And some of the other designs are contrast sensitivity issues of confusion that is going on there. And that seems to be providing, according to the studies, depending on the study, but somewhere around 50-60% of improvement, which is similar to what we're seeing in soft multifocals atropine and orthokeratology.
We're really close. We have now three different type of optical device that on average are quite similar.
Yeah, and one may be better for one patient than another, and artificial intelligence will help us figure that out as time goes on, right? Yeah. Well, I don't know of another clinician in the United States that has the experience of this as you do, because you're in Canada.
Yeah.
So I am so grateful for you sharing this insight and this perspective.
We're testing the device for you guys.
Thank you. We're testing it on Canadian children first to see how it works. Yeah, well, that's awesome. I appreciate you doing the podcast with me and sharing this perspective. Absolutely. And thank you for joining us for this episode of the Myopia Podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe. If you could do me a favor and go to the podcast on your app and click the 5 stars and leave a comment, it would be very helpful for our algorithm. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Hey friends, over the last 2 years, I've been doing the Myopia podcast, and it has been an absolute joy. There has been some incredible partners that have come along board with me, and many of you have listened to those episodes and thought, man, there was some great content in there. I agree. That's why I love the podcast. So I've put together a culmination of all of the podcasts from the first 100 episodes that we've done into a book called the Myopia Files, and I'm giving it away for free. I hope you'll check it out. Go to the myopiawebsite.com and check out the Myopia Files today.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Thank you for tuning in to the Myopia Podcast. If you enjoy our content, please leave a 5-star review and don't forget to subscribe for more great episodes.